How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lo4f, and today I'm going to go and attempt this bloody cargo crafting mission. Things did go a little bit wrong, I admit. Took a little bit longer than expected. Yeah, apparently you're supposed to drive to there, drop some wood off, go to there and grab a cargo container, or sorry, like, from the train station, same place, take it back there, craft a cabin, and then bring it there. It's a bit of faffing around, it didn't really explain it very well, so I ended up driving around looking for, like, there's places you can pick the wooden planks and stuff from. I kept driving around looking for a cargo container. I didn't realise it was at the train station. It's my fault. I didn't read the description in the mission thing too well. Yeah, I thought I had to go and get a cargo container from like one of these random buildings that are dotted around. So I kind of cut most of that out. You'll see why things went horrifically wrong. Anyway, though, we'll get to that. This is that new 8-slot trailer. It's pretty cool, pretty long. Definitely what she said. And yeah, I got it on the bandit. I'm going to go, first of all, I'm just off to get some wood. There's a building up here where I can get some from, and I suppose I'm trying to keep the things I scavenge in one area, if that makes sense, if I can. Like, there is other places dotted around the map where I can grab wood from that'll probably be closer to my destination than this is. It was also, to be honest, a pretty good excuse to cut across this river. I've still not built that bridge, kind of on purpose. I might leave it for a good old while, because, if I'm honest, I really do like cutting across this river. It feels like a pretty good challenge. If you do go across here, I'd go roughly on the route I'm going now. If I went into the water a bit sooner, a bit nearer the bridge, there's just more rocks, like, more in the middle of the river that are a bit of a pain in the arse you get caught up on. But yeah, this kind of angle going through there. It's why it's kind of been handy that those fuel trailers are already in the river. They kind of mark my way a little bit. But yeah, we managed to get over. This trailer is definitely a bit of a monster. Although it does have a bit of an issue. We'll get to it, but yeah, let's just say, I mean, this mission, what, should be a 5-10 minute mission, only took me, I don't know, 6 fucking hours, give or take. And yeah, things got pretty crazy. As for this bandit, like, I'm not hating on it. It is still a good truck, there's no doubt about it. But yeah, it's definitely, like, the Dolphin is better, the Dan's better, I reckon. I still think the Tiger's better. Like, it is a good truck, and it was a pretty close analogue to stuff like the Dolphin. But yeah, they just, like I said yesterday, I think they kind of took the edge off it by the custom mods are, like, just not good enough in their own, so it's not like specifically this thing. But yeah, just the fact that it's got the chained all-terrains as well instead of the chain muds, I think that affects it. The chassis wobble and everything kind of keeps catching me out a little bit. It tips a little bit too easily, and it is a pain in the arse to flip back to its wheels. It seems to be, I wouldn't say it so much feels weighted like high up when you're driving it along and stuff, but once you tip over, it's just, yeah, like, it really is a pain in the arse to flip back. I think, especially because the chassis is pretty narrow. Obviously, when you attach a winch to it, even though it is off to one side, like, it's, yeah, you more need winch points, like, on the edge of the cab or something, like, right at either end of the truck. So there's 2 pieces of wood. It might have said there, yeah, I think it's unpacked at a house or whatever. Look now, trying to floor it suddenly. 0 to grip in 2 seconds, like, Jesus Christ. To be honest, that should have been, that should have told me everything I need to know about how tonight was going to go. What I should have done about now was just throw the controller against the wall. Kick my TV off the table and go bed. But I didn't. I foolishly tried to deliver my wood. Yeah, struggling a little bit through the mud now. We're going to see how well this goes going back through the river. This time I'm obviously driving against the current, so it's going to make things a bit trickier. Overall, though, I have to say, at this speed, yeah, it's not the end of the world. The reason I'm not putting it in low is, well, I do now. I don't think it makes any difference. All it does is reduce your revs. I'm not even 100% convinced that low range is even a different gear to first gear anymore. Like, I'm not saying that completely across the board, but I've kind of been thinking about it the last few days and testing a few things out. And, yeah, I'm not even sure it actually goes into a lower gear, or at least a simulated gear. I appreciate it's like a game, so it's just coding that's simulating it, but yeah, I'm not really sure it does. I think it might just die your revs down a bit. There might be some type of bonus though, as you click over into low gear, it might give you some kind of grip bonus, a bit like it does when you attach the winch. Anyway, I couldn't get the bandit across, and of course, I mean, holy crap, get yourself a goddamn horsepower vehicle. This thing saved my ass. I don't know how many times tonight. It is a goddamn horsepower vehicle. Everyone needs one. Yeah, I mean, even now, it's pulling the bandit across with an 8-slot trailer, 2 pieces of wood on it. It's found itself a little loaf hole. And it's hanging on. It's hanging on pretty well, considering I'm dragging that truck, yeah, against the current, through a pretty deep river. Started slipping back a little bit, but he was fighting it. So that's a good thing about a Loaf. Loaf doesn't just tap out. Yeah, this bandit did a little bit. I'd have to try it more with some other trucks. I've got a feeling the Dolphin would get over there towing that trailer. I think a few other things would. But yeah, overall, like I said, I'm not hating on the bandit. It's just, I was kind of thinking, oh, it might actually be a contender for the Dolphin, and I'll use this more. Obviously, I'm using it at the minute because it's new and, yeah, new map and all the rest of it. But yeah, I certainly think I brought the Dolphin out tonight. Came in handy. Well, you'll see what happens pretty soon. Things did get slightly out of hand. See, the Loaf is not just a gimmick though. He's actually dragging that bandit out of there. And we're back. Back in action. So yeah, theoretically, all I've got to do now is drive down quite a lot of paved road, a few little trollish mud sections. As someone said, and they're right, there's like sections of super mud on this game, a bit like the old super snow situation in Lake Cobden and Amandra. Yeah, that's kind of happening there. Bit of a Tokyo Loaf going on. So I got the P12, stuck it on the trailer, and yeah, I was testing out the loading, packing mechanics. Which again is pretty cool because I'm only parked on like the edge of the truck where it doesn't actually load cargo onto there, but I am still able. And now looking at it like with that situation, yeah, I think it's a better thing. Where I was saying yesterday, it just kind of packs the vehicle wherever it is. It doesn't line it up like it does cargo. I sort of think that's a good thing because, yeah, stuff like that, it doesn't automatically jump the Loaf back and try and make it fill one of the cargo slots. Getting this thing up, though, is a bit of a pain in the arse. It's not got a central winch point on the roof or anything. The cranes are pretty gutless. Someone was saying earlier about trying the American cranes. Yeah, it's partly the cranes, but a lot of it is like the winch strength or lack of, or crane strength, whatever. They seem to be like, you know, they're both cables pulling in. Yeah, but the cranes themselves, I must admit, they could do with some more muscle though. And I still don't see why they haven't got it, because I don't know what element of the game it would break or make too easy. It's just lifting a vehicle onto a trailer. I mean, especially now you've got the ability to pack vehicles on trailers, it'd be pretty nice, even if they put some kind of ramp at the garage, so you could just drive onto the trailers a lot easier than having to load them, because obviously getting the Loaf on was not too bad. Getting this on was, yeah, took a little bit of wrestling around. I edited some of it out. The good thing, though, at least, got it parked up, went in the bandit, and you are able to actually pack this thing on the trailer. Which, yeah, that was pretty cool, because I wasn't sure if it had let me or not. However, you'll see after that, yeah, you just have to click like unpack and pack if you've already got more than one on there. I cut a little bit out. All I did with the crane was lift the nose up. It went up pretty easy, got the front 2 wheels on the truck, and then you can see, I tried to move it with a crane, and in the end it was like, better just doing it like this, basically, driving up. That liftable axle, at least it was sitting higher, so it sort of helped in that situation. It kind of didn't have to push the whole tyre up, it was just like, yeah, bump me up a little bit, and then that got the next set of axles high enough, etc. But yeah, I wasn't able to pack this crane. Sorry, not pack the crane, pack the Western Star. I'm going to go out on a limb and, well, I don't know actually. I know someone said they packed a Tatrin, but that still is in the Scout category. I'm not 100% on trucks so far, and yeah, testing that. I mean, with its handbrake on, it's staying on there just fine at the minute. So yeah, we're away. I mean, I've got my 2 pieces of wood. That is, well, most of what I need. Like I say, I do need a cargo container, which in the end, I actually started editing this video, and while I was editing it, I read the description of the mission more as I loaded the game back up, and yeah, went and grabbed the cargo container. Like I say, it's from the train station, pretty close to where you've got to drop the porter cabin off. And yeah, I was driving this long, thinking, oh, that's pretty nice, pretty long old trailer. So, like I said, things did start to escalate a little bit. Went and got myself a Dolphin, got myself another 8 slot. Might have popped a loaf or two on there. Yeah, I managed to get 12 loafs on a trailer. So, at some point, a pretty goddamn long loaf-trained road train will be going on. But yeah, I was pretty happy with the results. I mean, I was able to pack them sideways, but it was a little bit trollish. They look alright at the minute, but they start jiggling around soon and getting a little bit crazy. I have to say, I was pretty happy with this. My line driving out of there nailed it pretty goddamn well, if I do say so myself. I don't clip the bumper. Oh yes, like a glove. One of those rare occasions I actually put it down into low gear because, yeah, it's kind of a bit smoother. I mean, it's slower, but saves jiggling me loafs. I mean, yeah, maybe I'll nudge them all up pretty close together. I possibly could have spread them out a little bit more. But what some of them started doing is like jumping off the back, like backwards or forwards, just tipping off either side, even though they're packed. But you can see now, like the kind of sunset yellow looking loaf, the little blocks under the wheels are practically hanging off the trailer. Obviously that white loaf, he's yeah, he's not got much room. Again, pretty happy with my efforts turning around that corner. It's pretty a crap place to put a lamppost. So yeah, I couldn't resist anymore though. Once people reminded me that there was an 8-slot trailer and I was able to pack stuff, I couldn't resist seeing SnowRunner's longest road train. And yeah, I'm not going to drive all the way there because things did get a little trollish, but I still thought it was pretty cool. Go so far back I can hardly see it. It's about disappearing in the fog at one point. The Western Star as well, still hanging on for now. It was quite cool as well, that, like I said, that sunset yellow looking loaf. It's pretty cool that it still packed it, even when it's like on the sort of bit that steps down on the trailer. Which is a good thing. They seem to have been pretty free kind of thing with that. I mean, considering a lot of things this game does, there is issues with this game overall. Their priority in what they patch and what they don't patch and stuff, I do think is ridiculous. Like, they keep fixing things that don't need fixing, or certainly they're just nowhere near on the priority list of things that need urgently doing. And yet, yeah, stuff like the cranes, the winch power. I've had other bugs tonight as well. I've had quite a few bugs the last few days. Nothing too insane. I've heard people have probably had worse. Although tonight, it wasn't the end of the world. It's not like it's not happened to me before, but it certainly cost me a fair bit of time. Yeah, that's basically what's happening. You can see my, I think it's custom loafs just jiggling around on its own. All the loafs, like, well, some of them tipped off front, backwards and all sorts. But yeah, there's a quick look at the trailer. There's 12 beauties and a dolphin. And to be fair, the dolphin actually towed them pretty nicely. I thought the weight had added up quite a lot, especially a dozen loafs on there. I did actually try stacking a loaf on top of the roofs, going like along them, but between everything else, unpacking and packing them all the time, every time I added another one. Oh yeah, I didn't want to push my luck too much just yet. So yeah, there it is. You can see from the back though, it's just about disappearing kind of into the fog at the minute. Let's get my selfie stick out. I left this in though just to remind you that if you're like in an area and there is a few trees around you and that, if you have got a crane on you, you can stick it in the air and kind of use it as, yeah, kind of a selfie stick, but I more mean to reach over the trees and actually have a little look around at what's going on. So anyway, we'll get back to, yeah, heading a bit closer to the mission. I'm liking the OG Loaf's little position on the top of that trailer. Looking pretty good. He's overseeing the situation. Frame rate started dropping a bit. God knows why. Thought this game's going to troll me with glitches. I'll try and fry its graphics card or something. Yeah, one issue I do find with the Bandit as well is when it bounces around on the suspension a bit, the steering can go from like, you know, barely any, like it's understeering quite badly, and then it kind of grips in and flicks its way across pretty quick. It depends though, like even as you change gear and it like the acceleration cuts out for a second, it kind of bobs back down more on the nose, and yeah, that's been a little bit erratic. It does seem to have quite spongy, floaty suspension, this, compared to stuff like the Dolphin. And then yeah, got myself snagged on a tree. So I thought, right, I'll just set off on my own with the Bandit. That's kind of what I'm supposed to do anyway. Like I say, things did get slightly out of hand. Got slightly distracted by my Loaf train. Oh, this is a quick demo though. This is how strong the Dolphin is. Got a good bit of muscle in him. So how many loaves? 1, 2, 3, 4 have fallen off, so I should still have 8 on there, unless maybe one's gone off the back as well. It's definitely pushing my luck, but we got out of there. And I will just add as well, every single one of those loafs, I believe he landed back on their wheels, or I think there was one at some point, I don't know if it's in that group though, that fell off, but it was still able to start its engine, flung a winch out, tipped it back. Of all the loafs I took out tonight, I have 100% success rate still going. Yeah, obviously I recovered some loafs in the end, because I just recovered them all in for the night, particularly as this map was trolling me a bit. I get a little bit nervous about leaving too many vehicles just out when I turn the game off and everything. I did lose a vehicle or two like months ago. I've not really had anything since, but still, you never know. I remember when I had all my stuff on Amandra, I had like 20 or 30 vehicles on there. It did cross my mind at one point that if I load that game back up and everything's gone, that's a hell of a lot of money to replace. And at that time, yeah, I didn't have that money glitch. I didn't know about that, so it would have been a yeah, costly to replace. At least if you remember when it glitched on Quarry and took, what did it take? I am a Freightliner and a bloody Loaf, but it cleared up all my trailers, and it also left me a Dan, which I was able to sell and buy like another 5 loafs. So all worked out pretty nicely. And yeah, again, I wish it just had the mud changed. I know they're not like night and day different, but I do believe this thing is just a little bit wheel spinny, a little bit more than it should be. Especially at the minute, particularly the rears are spinning. You'd think with all the weight from the trailer pushing down, that'd absolutely, if anything, you'd think it'd be the front that'd be wheel spinning. All things considered though, I know it is a pretty massive trailer, so I'm pretty alright with going that sort of speed. Yeah, the trees in this part of the section, I kept getting caught on just the trees that had fallen across the road. However, it was a pretty good excuse to send in the P16. I really do like this truck. It certainly feels at home in this map as well. Obviously it's Canada. This P16 is apparently built in Canada. And yeah, I mean it matches the terrain pretty well. It's just one of the things I really like with the P16 is it feels realistically balanced. Like, it feels like the weight is realistic, the handling feels realistic, the tyres, how much they grip. Like, and, yeah, I've never driven a P16, so I admit I'm not talking from like I've driven one, but it's just the feel of it. I still know enough about driving things and so on to know the difference between like some vehicles in this game just weigh as much as a bicycle, like the Steptoe for example. Apparently, well, yeah, that new engine that I assume is for the Bandit can go in the Steptoe. That'd be good because it should have a hell of a lot of power. But yeah, the Steptoe weighs hardly anything. Like when you crash into a tree and that, you pretty much bounce off every tree because there's just no weight there. This P16 just feels correct. It feels realistic. It feels like it's, yeah, reacting to its own weight. The grip levels, I wish they'd turn up like pretty much all the tyre grip levels to getting nearer to this thing, because I believe as well as somebody was letting me know, the Cat 770G or whatever the bloody hell it's called in this game, the tyres on that I believe are just bigger versions of these P16 tyres, and that would make sense as well with like the similar grip stats. And again, that Cat does feel pretty realistic, more to where it should. It certainly feels like a big meaty weighty truck, and yeah, even though it's not all-wheel drive, it still has enough grip to where it looks about right. Like obviously you're going to get a little bit of wheel spin here and there, but just its own sheer weight and amount of tyres and size of tyres just digging into the ground is going to propel something. Like when you watch some vehicles in this game, you just think it's the weight of a truck. It's got say 8 custom muds on it with giant grippy terrain like tread marks on the tyre, you've got the diff locks on, you've got all the power going to it. It's like a truck just wouldn't wheel spin like that. It sort of have to travel forward with that kind of setup. Like, not all the time. I appreciate there is some rare instances in real life where, yeah, there'd practically be no grip at all, but I don't know, it's more long term in this game. Like, there's certain sections you can cut across on this game that's really trollish, and it's like, okay, for the first, you know, couple of times I go across there, you're just kind of like, well, whatever. Long term though, talking about like next month, I'm not going to be like, oh, I want to go back on that map and drive to that bit where it makes me go half a mile an hour, because it just doesn't feel exciting like on a repeatable scale. Gold horse mining. We've heard the rumours. So I just skipped ahead a little bit. I'm basically at the, what do you call it, the warehouse now. It's where you can grab the trailer for the Cat 770G. And at this point, things were, yeah, going pretty well. I was, again, pretty happy with my P16. It was dragging this Bandit along pretty nicely. I always think, like, this P16 feels a lot stronger than the P12. Even though the P12's got all-wheel drive and that, you'd think it'd help, but yeah, this thing just feels way better. So, get out here, I was like, oh yes, oh no. I have to say, I was curious what it'd look like if it rolled. I mean, look at the goddamn professional. He's still on his wheels. He just can't keep a good loaf down. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, rolled the goddamn thing. There goes, I think, my... oh yeah, my forklift, the... what do you call it? The Western Star 49X, that fell off a little bit early. Like I said, I wasn't able to pack it, so it couldn't handle it. And this is why you get yourself a goddamn horse of a vehicle. He squeezes his way out of there. He ain't stopping the loaf. And yeah, you're about to see things, about to see shit hit the fan. Things go from bad to worse to terrible to horrific. Quick pose for a photo. Right now, things were looking like, well, it's not too bad. So I wanted to go the other way. Get the other side of the bridge. Stick a winch on. So that's one thing. The Bandit doesn't flip very well, but it doesn't really seem to have much issue dragging itself along the floor sideways. Slight technical difficulties. Right, sod it, I know what to do. Fling a winch out. And yeah, I mean, we're about to witness the greatness of the Loaf. That's why you get yourself a goddamn horse of a vehicle. He squeezes his way past. And I think it's fair to say, this is a pretty meaty challenge for probably any vehicle. I mean, probably not the Loaf out of anything, but yeah, it's an 8-slot trailer, it's got a Bandit attached to it, so can't exactly say I was giving it an easy time, but as you can see, mere seconds, and the goddamn professional, he comes through again. His 100% rescue record is still intact. That's right. So right now it's just looking like, well, if I ramp off those rocks, I can probably get onto the trailer. I was going to winch the trailer a little bit closer, but yeah, essentially, rock launch was go. And then, I was like, oh no. Oh please no, where's my Bandit? It's gone through the bridge. This is not good. I already know this is not good, because this happened to me on Island Lake about a month or so ago. And yeah, starts wrestling my trailer, like, oh no, don't make me lose my wood. It's limited wood. Like, didn't care, they grabbed onto the trailer. Like, oh hell no, you ain't taking my trailer. You ain't taking my wood. Yeah, the Bandit, like the nose of it is through the bridge. I recovered the Bandit. There, like, the nose was underwater, it was just the back tyres really still sticking out the bridge. Yeah, again you can see there, the Loaf has no issues whatsoever, just shoving the trailer to the side. Which is pretty handy, pretty good for a 8-slot trailer. And again, just a goddamn horse of a vehicle. It doesn't even take long anymore. Like, the Loaf's rapid at rescuing stuff. Now I know the ways of the Loaf. It's yeah, piece of piss. However, problem is, the front legs of the trailer have glitched through the bridge, and it is absolutely anchored and wankered. I mean, it don't want to come out. Flip the forklift like it was nothing. It was pretty goddamn easy. Yeah, I thought, well, I'll try the forklift. Maybe we can try and scoot this trailer around somehow. I mean, as you can see, it was absolutely just locked in. It's to the point it's pretty much shoving the forklift through the floor. So I got out of there before that then went through the bridge. The P16 was already ahead. I was reversing into the trailer, trying to drive forward with a winch. She was in there good. Alright, I'll ram you from the front. Oh my god. What is going on? Right now it's like, Loaf. See? He's goddamn professional. He knows. So yeah, you can see my patience slowly wearing out. Fuck you, forklift. Fuck you, trailer. Some of them apples. But yeah, this thing just was not budging, or if it was kind of moving slightly back, slightly sideways, slightly forward again. But it's giving it some pretty good welly. And the P16's one of the heavier trucks in the game. Maybe I could have gone flat out into it with a twin steer, but I still can bet money it wouldn't have got out of there. By now, oh, fuck it, I'll just snap the trailer in half. Just get out of the way of the goddamn bridge. I don't care if I break the trailer. But what I do need is the ability to cross this bridge. I was kind of looking now with the camera. Yeah, the water goes pretty deep, so I was kind of umming and ahhing like, could I just abandon this bridge completely and drive through the water each way? But yeah, I mean, the P16's already pretty deep in there, and from the look on the camera, it still would have gone deeper, so I think it'll drown just about everything. I think this is a bridge that is, yeah, going to need to be cleared. And, I mean, you probably know how this is going to end, but just to show, I did try some of the big stuff. Like, we had P16s trying it, P12s. I even brought the big Cat 770G, the Bandit was having a go, the Western Star 49X, the forklift, there's the Cat, there's the Western Star, there's the forklift, there's the P12. P16 is up ahead, I believe. Oh shit, get skinny. Yes. Yeah, I got my wood. Got my wood and I'm out. Just observing the mess one last time, and yeah, I thought, right, basically, I'll go and drop my wood off, I'll get that mission done, and I'll worry with this shit show later. Grab myself a loaf. The loaf saved my bacon this far, I'm not going to leave him behind now. So yeah, if you missed that gigantic disaster that still isn't over yet, in the middle, then this was a pretty goddamn easy mission, if I do say so myself. See there, with the understeering of the Bandit, it's like... And then, quite often though, yeah, it'll just suddenly dig in and go. It's like, it feels like it doesn't always have, like, a linear steering motion. It's, yeah, a bit erratic. It's caught me out once or twice. I'm definitely glad that there is a fuel station this side. I know I could just bring a trailer and dump it here, so it's not the end of the world either way, but still. I've got trailers scattered all over all kinds of maps with fuel in, and one day they will run out of fuel, and well, I was going to say I'll replace them. I probably won't, strictly speaking, replace them. They'll become free-range trailers, and I'll go and get some more. Yeah, personally, by the way, this is what I would recommend. When you get down to the bottom of the map, just past the fuel station, this train's tracks going all the way along the bottom of the map. It makes it so much easier. You can kind of, when you drive up onto the train tracks, you hook onto them pretty well, so I'm trying to get, like, obviously one set of tyres in the middle. And yeah, overall it hangs on pretty well, because, like I say, this Bandit is definitely not bad for tipping. And again, I'm not hating on the vehicle. If this was just one of the vehicles that came out at the beginning of the game, it would be up there as one of the good vehicles in the game. It's certainly usable, all the rest of it. But yeah, there's just a few issues where it feels like they just took the edge off what it could be. And I don't, again, really see any reason why, because stuff like the Dolphin is perfectly capable and solid. I don't see why this thing couldn't, yeah, just have things like the chained muds, maybe a little bit less chassis flex. You'll see later on, yeah, you know where it comes to like starting your engine and you tipped over 90 degrees, it kind of doesn't start your engine. Let's just say the chassis flex doesn't help when you'd think it should. Yeah, not too hard though to get off the train tracks. And this, now I'm at the train station, and this is where, and I didn't realise this at this point, this yellow box I'm driving through now, that is where you get the cargo container from. And originally I was going to go to the left and do the proper way and go through the mud, and then I was like, do you know what, I actually, after all that trailer situation, at this point I'd probably been having a go at that trailer trying to get it out of there for an hour or two maybe at that point. I'd certainly brought a few other vehicles, and yeah, I was messing around. Like, it wasn't really driving me mad or anything, it was just more sort of rolling your eyes a little bit, like, because it happened on the bridge, and that is one of those bridges that is basically the connection to the rest of the bottom of this map and all sorts. If that trailer was just sat in the middle all the time, yeah, I won't be able to drive across there very easily. I could squeeze through the Bandit, the Loaf would obviously get through there, but if I tried to bring some in, like one of the meatier vehicles like the Club or the P16, etc., yeah, there was just not enough room to squeeze my way through. By the way, what I should have done is turned off into that yard now. Well, not now, like when I got to the yard. I thought there was a fence down here I was able to break through, but when I got round to the bottom I was like, oh, it's a wall, so not a problem. We'll have to go the long way. See, there again though, the steering is just like understeering, particularly when you're pulling off, because you're pulling off and it kind of jerks all the weight to the back axles. It does sort of lift off the front, and it really doesn't help the situation. Don't you worry about the Loaf, you're just having a rest. Having a rest while the Bandit sorts its steering out. Now I'm stuck on a bloody tree branch. Times like this in the game where it's like, please game, just give me a break, let me deliver some goddamn wood. See, we're good to go. Loaf, so whoop, he's back. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, again, pretty terrible lap round, but at this point, sod it, I'm jumping off there. I've still got the Loaf for me, so if I flipped, I've got a crane on me as well, so I know I could reload if I needed to. So this is to do with this, yeah, cargo crafting, where you've actually got to craft something. I get where they were going with it. To be honest, so far, I'm not like annoyed about it or anything like that. It doesn't really bother me. I think it's a little bit, I don't know, a lot of faffing around really. By the time you kind of learn where a lot of the places are, like, oh, that place has got some wood, that's got some bricks, etc., I think you would have scavenged half of them, and then it's kind of like, because they're limited places, they've kind of, yeah, give themselves a limited shelf life on the game, if you know what I mean. I'm not always going to be able to go back somewhere and grab more bricks, etc. Now, yeah, I got to this point, I was like, oh, what the hell is it on about now? I need a cabin or something, a cargo container, and then started getting like some kind of crazy trippy colours, because I'd already left a truck there when I brought the trucks out. But yeah, what I thought was pretty cool was one of them's green, one of them's blue for some reason. So then I went and got myself a Technicolor Dream Loaf. Well, in fact, long story short, as you can see, I was making a some kind of trippy ghost train out of there. But then I got to this point, I was like, oh yeah, it looks well cool. You can see me drive there, can see all like the axles, the shocks, the suspension, the diffs, the prop shafts, I mean, the engine, yeah, all sort of thought. I was like, well, cool view. I'd like that view normally. You can see like the inside of the tyres, looks like the drum brakes and all sorts. And yeah, having a little look around, this is on Bruce. Bruce looks pretty damn cool as well. Again, you can see all the axles. The Bandit would probably look pretty good on this, because it's got quite a mad array of prop shafts and transfer cases and all sorts, like it all looks a bit complicated. So yeah, I just thought it was pretty cool, that's why I left that in. Anyway, back to the trailer that was driving me mental. At this point, I'd abandoned doing the cargo crafting thing, because I didn't realise that the cargo container was at the train station. I'd been driving all around the map with all sorts of other vehicles looking for, yeah, somewhere that had a cargo container. Then I tried to bring the forklift to where I was with the Bandit and the Loaf, because there was something called like manual loading where you have to load some fuel barrels onto a dock. I did it, by the way. That mission seems glitched for me. I'll save that for another day. Again, I was trying to wrench the crap out of this trailer. It wasn't like I didn't give it a good old go. And you see, it's just inevitable. But what I needed in the end was a goddamn professional. And yeah, anything less just wouldn't do the job. So I knew my destiny. I knew what needed to be done. I need to get in, get under. We need some leverage. However, when I was getting to about this point, I think I did get a little bit further in. And yeah, I was getting caught on the roof rack. I gave it a good old go. I'm winching, yeah, to the clob, and I've kind of wedged the clob in with the trailer, so it's a pretty nice little setup to pull me forward. But yeah, It's just not happening with the roof rack on. What I need is a bold loaf. Oh yes. Now there's one bold loaf. You might not think the difference between a hairy loaf and a bold loaf will make much difference, but it can. I'm allergic to hairy caterpillars. If you throw a bold caterpillar at me, I'd be fine. If you throw a hairy caterpillar at me, I'd get a rash for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, I don't trust them little hairy bastards. So you see, this is why you need a bold loaf. Like a goddamn horse over vehicle, he's going in. He knows what needs to be done. It's wrestling. It's going, well, going pretty well, all things considered. This trailer wants a fight, so we'll give it one. Yeah, I mean, the trailer's bent up pretty good right now. Again, it's the legs of the trailer that are stuck through the bridge. And I can't reverse anything under the trailer to, like, attach the saddle that will lift the legs up. Again, you have to admit, he has wedged himself in there pretty goddamn well. Even his wheel's about done, but he ain't giving up yet. So at this point, needed yeah, more pushing. Well, at this point actually, I needed more height. What I wanted to do was, yeah, prop the back end of the trailer up on the roof of the Navistar. So I was able to stick my loaf in further. That's definitely what she said. Oh, it's going nicely. What a lovely day. So yeah, like I said, what I was going for was leverage. That's what I wanted. And again, just to show you, this was no joke. This was seriously stuck. That was a clob trying to lever it over the top of the Navistar. So if all else fails, it's Loaf gangbang time. I don't think anything has yet to beat a Loaf gangbang. For obvious reasons. Need even more leverage. See, that's the thing about a horse with a vehicle. It just doesn't give up easy. When she says, do you believe in sex on first dates? And you're just like, well, maybe. I could be persuaded for such activities. I don't know why, but I was laughing my head off at this. I ended up cutting some of it out, because, to be honest, I watched this happen way longer than anybody should reasonably watch a Loaf fuck a bridge. But this bridge had been fucking me for the last 5 hours by now, so it was only fair I returned the favour. And yeah, after many Loaf wedgings and all sorts, as you can see, oh my god, yes, the trailer just budged. It popped out. When leverage just won't do it, you need loaferage. Oh, what a goddamn horse of a vehicle. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, you get yourself a Loaf. Nothing stops a Loaf. You've seen some serious heavy hitters in this game trying to get this trailer out to no avail. The Loaf knew his mission. He knew what needed to be done. He needed to clear that bridge. Get this piece of crap out of the way. It didn't too bad. I mean, what a goddamn beast. What did I tell you? Biggest roof rack in the game. Please help, my trailer's trying to escape. Oh no, it's alright. Just a goddamn professional. And they said this game was unrealistic. I mean, what am I supposed to do about it? My cock is unrealistic, but when she's wheeling herself home the next day in a wheelchair, I can't say, well, that's unrealistic levels of not being able to walk and just flicker out of it. You've gotta make do with the situation. And it's times like that you get yourself a goddamn horse with a vehicle, because he doesn't just make do with the situation. He thrives in the goddamn situation. He excels. Shows the game who's boss. Like I said, that is one mighty fine roof rack. I think you'll agree. And he drives along just fine. I mean, I'll be delivering cargo at some point with this. It's actually a pretty good fit. Kind of sits between, yeah, the trailer, like the little add-ons on the side of it and stuff. It might even be worth getting 2 loafs. One at the front, one at the back, winch them together. The, yeah, whole trailer will be off the ground. Little pose for a photo. I mean, I think it's fair to say he earned it on this one. them trailers ain't easy to get out. Yeah, there's still one stuck in the bridge on Iden Lake for me. Fortunately, I don't really go on that map a hell of a lot because it's not got a garage on there. But yeah, and I know someone else was saying in the comments they've still got a trailer wedged on somewhere that I believe is getting in their way as well. But yeah, that's one of the main reasons I left that whole section really in this video, because I have had a couple of glitches, nothing too crazy. That is probably the craziest thing I've had, certainly the most inconvenient I've had so far on this since this update. Yeah, just in case any of you guys do get your trailer stuck in the bridge or otherwise, like, that is a potential way to get out of there. Pulling it with just about every vehicle in the game isn't really going to do anything. You do need to kind of lever it out there, and that is the way I would suggest. Send a Loaf in underneath, keep trying to wedge progressively taller vehicles in there and just, yeah, wedge the thing out that way, basically. That's what got me by. Yeah, this is where you get the cargo container from. At this point, I'd already turned the game off, started editing this video, and like I said, when I read in the description, it said something about a cabin, or a cargo container at the train station. I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me? At this point, yeah, I'd been to about, I don't know, 10 or 15 of these different locations that have got wood and bricks and I think mainly wooden bricks, to be honest. What else was there? I think, well, oh yeah, there was a few places like warehouses that had like metal coils and I don't know, all sorts of stuff. But essentially, yeah, no cargo containers. And like I said, it could have explained it a little bit better though, because then when you just look at the mission, it says, yeah, craft a cabin, but it doesn't say bring 2 pieces of wood or anything in the actual things you've got to do, like off the little kind of tick list. Driving along here, sadly, you see what I mean there though, how the chassis flex is quite a lot, and it was keeping the front half of the Bandit from being 90 degrees, but it still wouldn't start the engine, and I kind of think that's a little bit shit, because it's kind of the worst of both worlds, where you have the chassis flex that can tip you, but the chassis flex that theoretically was keeping the engine beyond 90 degrees, that should have started, but for whatever reason, because the back end of the Bandit was still rotated at 90 degrees, it was, yeah, not having any of it. So again, one final time, had to send in the professional, and this Bandit is a pain in the arse to tip over. Like, in the end, yeah, I've just wedged behind a tree, dragged the whole thing across the railway and pushed it that way, because it was being a bloody nightmare. And as you can probably see from some of the impatient driving towards the end, I'd completely lost all sense of yeah, taking my time, etc. Not that I particularly do anyway, I'll admit, but this was like super rally mode. I'll smash everything to bits. I really don't care. More out of principle. In fact, I'd say it was more an aim to now smash things to bits. Although the game tried very hard tonight to break me, but we sent in the professional and we broke the game. It will never break me. So finally, drive back to this stupid crafting bloody thing. It's a bit fiddly, just keep pressing L1 and R1 and L2 and R2 until it brings up the menu where it'll take the bloody cargo container off you. Then you can eventually build the cabin, then you have to click some buttons again, go back through. All this for this bloody cabin. And it doesn't even look like it's on skis or anything. Like I say, I'm not like anti this whole crafting material thing, it just does feel like a bit of extra faff at the minute for nothing, but yeah, like a large portion of what made this mission take me basically all night was that whole bridge section, and there was a slight bit of Loaf road train action going on. Tomorrow, what I'd like to do, I've been, by the way, in between all these things, I've been driving around like having a good old go with the Western Star 49X. I'd like to do some kind of review on that soon, because obviously you're able to buy it, so I think people would like to see some gameplay and what it can actually do. I was tonight going to do, what was it, the Western Star 49X versus the Derry, like not the 4520, the other one, because they're both kind of 8 axle but got one liftable axle each. And then, yeah, on my YouTube recommended, SD11's done a video tonight, or I suppose maybe yesterday by now, but where he's compared them, so I just didn't want to do it tonight, because I thought, like, if he's already done it, that kind of shows that. And I may do it at some point, because I mean, I don't do, like, the same tests as him anyway, I'll do all kinds of things, but yeah, that, originally, that's what got in my head, was like, it's kind of a leaner version of the Derry, really. Like, just not as bulky and stuff. But anyway, we finally got there, finally dropped that P, and then I was like, are you shitting me? 150 XP? It should have given me about 25,000 XP for what I've been through. Anyway, that's about it for today. Hope you enjoyed, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.